Hola y bienvenidos a Hola amigos. Hello friends. Yo soy Claudia.
Y yo soy María Olvera.
Y yo soy Pom.
Stay with us. We're going to have lots of fun today.
Hola Amigos, Hello Friends is a production of the Knowledge Network of Greater Omaha, produced by students in the TV studios of Metropolitan Community College.
How are you? Great. I am very happy to be with you as well. How about you guys?
Oh, María. Hola niños en la casita. Hola, María.
Hola, Pompón.
Hola, Claudia. Pom, you look like to be in a very good mood. Sí, porque vamos a aprender algo muy interesante hoy, niños.
Eso es verdad, Pompón. Vamos a aprender algo muy interesante y vamos a ver qué es eso tan interesante. What does that say, Pompón?
Se dice los osos polares.
Muy bien, Pompón. Polar bears, los osos polares. Hey, Pompón, what do you know about polar bears?
Oh, yo sé muchas cosas, María.
¡Qué bien! ¿Y qué tal nuestros amiguitos en casa? ¿Qué sabrán ustedes?
I didn't know you knew so much about polar bears, Pom. What do you know? Bueno, primero que la piel de los osos son negra, completamente negra.
I don't know about that, Pompón. You might be right.
Pom, the polar bears are white. Why are you saying that their skin is black? No, sí, es la verdad, María y Claudia. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out more about that on today's show.
And I think you might just be right. So let's get started. You know, if I show you this picture of this polar bear, you won't find the word polar bear underneath. You'll find the word Nanook.
Nanook.
Ooh, Pompón, have you ever heard polar bears be called Nanook?
No.
Well, a lot of people do. And those are especially people that live where or nearby where the polar bears live.
Okay.
So polar bears are actually known in at least a couple other names. Some people actually call them the white bear.
Well, that makes sense because they are white. I still don't know why you're calling a polar bear black, negra. ¿Por qué, Pom? No, sí, María va a explicar pronto, seguramente.
Sí, Pompón, eso es verdad. So, we have polar bear, we have the white bear, we have Nanook, and there is yet another name. Maritime bear.
A maritime bear. Well, that makes sense because maritime comes from the word sea and water, right, Maria?
Yep. And mar means sea, and then time, well, is the time. So they spend the majority of their time, their lives, in the water.
Nadando en el agua.
Well, yeah, they could be swimming in the water, but they also spend a lot of their time on what is known sea ice.
Sí, yo veo las fotos en la televisión.
And you know what, Pompon? Polar bears, I'll tell you this, you won't believe me, but they do not drink water.
What? I didn't even know that. What do polar bears drink then? No se toman el agua.
No. El agua alrededor de ellos es agua salada. You have to remember, it's salt water.
That's right. All of the water around them is salt water, the sea and the ocean.
The water that they could drink is the water that would be from the sea ice that would melt. But it's impractical for the polar bears because it may not melt for a very long time and they might need a lot of water. So guess what they do, Pompon? Do you have any idea?
No.
Well, their diet is very peculiar. They eat a lot more fat than they eat protein.
Oh, it sounds a lot like me in my house. I eat a lot more fat than I do protein, Maria. Sí, de acuerdo, Claudia. Pom Pom, that's not very nice. Es la verdad. Pom Pom, pay attention to this.
Yeah, so when we learn what they eat, specifically what animal they prey on the most, we'll keep that in mind because we'll remember that they eat mostly the fat out of this animal more than the actual meat.
Oh, se comen la grasa.
Yes, because that provides them with a lot of liquid.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So where do they live? Do they live in the jungle?
No.
Nope. Do they live in our backyards?
No, Maria, esa es una locura.
Polar bears are about 10 feet height, if not taller. So it would be a really bad idea if we had polar bears in our backyards.
Right, and you could even see them in our zoo at the Omaha Henry Dorling, so we've got beautiful polar bears.
And they weigh about 700 pounds.
Ay, caramba!
Yeah. So, but I want to show you, Pompon and our friends at home, where they live. Look at this. They live at the Arctic Circle, what is known as the Arctic Circle.
Oh, so that's way up north by the North Pole?
All the way north. And specifically on that circle, and the people that live nearby them are what they are known as the people who live by the Arctic Circle. They all have different names. The most common one is Eskimo.
Oh, I know that word, the Eskimos.
Yeah, but we also have the Inuit people. But anyway, Pompon, right here, I'm gonna show you on this globe. So if this is planet Earth, where we live.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty big ball you have there.
Yeah, this is un globo terráqueo muy grande. So this is the United States. This is about where we are. Here is Mexico. Then if you go up north, there is Canada. If you go farther up north, you'll see Greenland. And then you'll see where the polar bears live.
Wow, that's
in this
so
circle
far
right here.
North.
So if you see planet Earth like this, they live on top of it, basically like this. Wow. So do you think it's cold up there?
Ay, absolutamente frío.
It's really cold, but that is why polar bears are in fact black. Their skin is black.
You were right, see?
Yes, because you know what? That black skin is part of what keeps them warm. But also,
wow.
Guess what happens when they eat all this fat?
Se engordan mucho.
Right below their skin, they have a layer of about 4 inches thick of all fat. Yes,
Why
Pom Pom.
are you looking at me, Pom Pom? No razón. You need to pay attention to these polar bears right here, mister. Pom Pom, I tell you what.
So now we know that polar bears are in fact black. They live all the way on the North Pole, and their fur is actually not white.
Maria, now you're just talking crazy. Maria, estás hablando loca. Sí, un poquito loca, Claudia. Sí, Maria, un poquito loca.
So if you see at their fur, they're actually hollow. Each piece of fur is hollow in the inside and is translucent. It does not have a color to it.
Really?
Inside of it, each one of those pieces of fur will kind of like keep the sun in, keep the warmth in. So that plus 4 inches thick layer of fat will keep this animal at 98 degrees warmth when they're relaxed.
That is crazy. So their hairs are like little tubes?
Mm-hmm. Son tubitos.
Wow.
Y están huecos por dentro, cada uno.
Qué interesante, Claudia. I know, that's why we do the show, because we can learn things.
Yeah.
Estamos aprendiendo mucho hoy.
So remember I talked to you briefly about the Inuit culture or the Inuit people?
Oh, is that their pet polar bear? Because that looks like a sad picture. Una foto tristeza.
It's actually not a pet. This culture regards the polar bears as a sign of strength, and they do have some spiritual component to it when it comes to the polar bears, especially in the past, but they hunt them. And they don't hunt them as much anymore, but they used to hunt them, and they still do, not as much, but they still do. They eat the food as if we would eat,
Se comen un oso como una vaca?
Mm-hmm.
You mean, so basically the Inuit Indians hunt the polar bears and use it as food, como carne.
Yep.
Ah.
And recently, you can go and be a tourist and look at them, but you can also go with the Inuit people and hunt together with them. However, the Inuit people are the only ones that are authorized to hunt these type of animals because it is so ingrained into their culture and also their survival as far as a food source.
I wonder what that tastes like. Me parece como pollo. Why does everything have to taste like chicken to you, Pom Pom?
Y aparte, Pom Pom, escucha, el pelaje y la piel la usan para su ropa y para sus zapatos.
They use the skin and the hair for their clothes and their shoes. Esa es muy interesante, Maria.
Yep. So, now that brings me to my next point, which is the sea ice, el hielo marino.
Beautiful picture right there.
And that's where the polar bears will hunt. They spend the majority of their time on a piece of ice on the sea, similar to this. That's what they'll mate. They'll have
baby polar bears.
Baby polar bears. And that's also where they will do most of bringing their little ones, so raising their little polar bears.
That's interesting. What do you think about that, Pom Pom? Qué interesante, la madre y los niños viven arriba del hielo marino.
Yeah, so all in this area, guys, we would have a lot of sea ice, and that's where they live. So they're like little boats, but they're not boats, they're ice, and they stay on them.
Like a dock just bobbing up and down.
The majority of their lives. They do go in the water and they swim, they're excellent swimmers, but they're most comfortable on the ice. And that's where they find what they get to eat.
Oh, I wonder what they get to eat.
Ellos comen las focas barbudas.
Oh, no. I know.
And remember, I told you they would get their water from the fat of the bearded seal.
Oh, boy, mira, Pom Pom, ese es un gordito. Sí, muy gordito.
Yes, so this is what they mostly eat. They also eat other mammals, but they mostly eat this. This one right here is their favorite.
That is a Tubby McTub Foca Barbuda. Oh my goodness.
It's a huge one, right? So do you remember how many things I told you that they do on the sea ice, en el hielo marino?
Ay, sí, yo sé, María. Yo recuerdo.
Yeah, they live there mostly, right? That's where they are the most comfortable. So what happens when that ice starts melting?
Oh, when it starts to melt, they have like a little ball they can play with, like a little ball of ice, una pelota de hielo.
Well, they don't have...
No creo, Claudia.
No. They don't have enough space to live. And they can't really have their own life in just water. They need the sea ice to actually do their life. I thought he was just
playing with a snowball. No, Claudia, paga atención, por favor. Okay, don't cop an attitude with me, Pom Pom. Estamos aprendiendo. Okay, lo siento. Está bien. We're just having fun here. This is so interesting, Maria.
Yeah, so then guess what happens, guys? Remember I told you that they mostly eat they mostly eat these guys right here, the bearded seal? So, if we were to go without sea ice, si desapareciera y se derritiera todo el hielo marino, es posible que los osos polares ya no existieran.
Oh, if we lose the ice, the polar bears won't exist.
Perhaps.
Qué triste, Maria.
Yes. And then what would happen would be the next thing. you see these guys right here, their favorite food is this
Chocolate!
right here.
No, Pom, they don't have chocolate in the
You know
North
what
Pole.
what they mostly eat is this fish right here. What is this fish called?
El salmon.
El salmón.
That's a good fish too. It's delicious on a bagel.
So pay attention, Pompon. If the polar bears, this is why we care about the polar bears so much. If the polar bears were not to exist, then these guys right here will eat a lot of this because nobody will be eating them, so we'll have an overpopulation of
the
these seals.
and then they'll eat the fish, and then we won't have the fish para nosotros.
And a lot of fishing industries depend on this kind of fish to continue to exist.
Pom, that means you and I wouldn't be able to have our lox bagels. I know.
So polar bears actually ensured a lot of people's employment and ensure a lot of us to have something like this on our plate.
Oh, that is so delicious. María, qué interesante. Yo quiero aprender más de los osos polares.
So now we know, Pompon, that we are supposed to think about what's going on with the polar bears because one, they are integral, they are a very vital piece
Very
of
important, muy importante.
the culture of these people, the Inuit or the Eskimos, and they provide to the ecosystem.
The ecosystem, sí.
What happens currently, which this population of the seals stay balanced due to the bears eating them, and consequently we have still enough of these fish that we can continue to have this industry and continue to eat them.
Well, that is very fascinating. ¿Qué te parece, Pompo? Muy interesante. Ay, sí, María y Claudia, muy interesante.
So, let's see. Do you remember that you said that their skin was black?
Sí.
Do you now know, Pompon, how that helps to the bear staying warm?
Sí.
Very good. So now you have learned something about the bears.
And I have learned so much. I love the tubes of the hair. Sí, los tubarres del pelo.
Sí, son tubitos pequeñitos. Okay, Pompon, I know you have to go, but we have to continue with the show. And I want to remind you guys about that special name that the Inuit people call the polar bears. Do you guys remember? I know, it started with the N. It was Nanook. So with that in mind, our letter of the day is going to be
the letter N.
Very good, the letter N. So with letter N, let's think about words that start with letter N.
Should we start thinking about them first in español or in inglés, María?
I don't think it matters.
Oh, María, I think you've got a little something right here.
Oh.
On the tip of your nariz.
Oh, you got me. Very good. De mi nariz con la N. Excelente. And you know what? When you go to the hospital, unfortunately, and somebody's taking care of you while the doctor is not there, who would that be?
Oh, those are very, very special people. Now, who's in the hospital? They're not the doctors. They are the nurses, which begins with the letter N. En español, ¿cómo se dice, María?
Enfermera.
Enfermera is my nurse.
And you know what? I'm thinking about where the birds live. You know,
the trees. María, that doesn't begin with an N.
Well, that's true, but on the trees, there is, this piece of almost like a bed, but it's their house.
Now I know where you're going with this. Y también la palabra en español y en inglés, nido for a nest.
Yes, very good. Can you think of a word?
Let's see. We've got nest, we have nose, we have nurse. Ay, pero María, obviamente, donde viven los ositos polares, where the polar bears live, they have the Nieve.
They have lots of it.
Lots of snow, lots of nieve up there.
Muchísima nieve y es con la N y a veces o casi siempre yo creo que ven las nubes.
Ay, por favor, see the clouds, las nubes. Lots of N-words.
Y una más que es una palabra en español y es una fruta que es color anaranjada por fuera y por dentro.
Oh, that was kind of a tricky one because you gave it away. Naranja is our orange.
Very good. Now that we have all these words with the letter N, I think it's time for us to trace letter N.
Let's go ahead and do that at the tracing board.
Let's do it together.
Okay. So the N is pretty easy because it just has lines up and down.
Oh, okay. Es muy fácil. Solamente tiene líneas hacia arriba y hacia abajo. Y si haces 4 puntitos, te ayuda más.
Sí.
Okay.
Abajo.
Okay, una línea hacia abajo.
Diagonal.
Then you need a diagonal one, okay?
Y vete arriba.
And another vertical one. Very good. That's uppercase letter N, la mayúscula. Y ahí tenemos la minúscula, lowercase.
Arco.
Okay, so you
Llega
need
al punto.
a very small line and then an arc. Very good. That is easy to do. All right, I think we are ready to start writing our sentence. You know, we've been learning about these polar bears. What should we write about?
Well,
our
obviously
sentence?
the polar bears. What about the polar bears? Well, let's talk about where they live, Maria.
Yeah, and remember, it's very important that they continue to have this, what was it?
El hielo, the ice.
El hielo marino, that's sea ice. So let's write that as a sentence. Polar bears live on sea ice.
Let's do that.
All
The
right.
Polar bears live on sea ice.
Polar bears live on sea ice. There we go.
Okay, now I will write this down en español. Los osos polares viven en el hielo marino.
Marte, sí, ¿verdad? And now we're ready for our game. Look at this.
This is going to be fun, Maria. What do we have
Well,
here?
we have sea ice.
Okay.
Estos papelitos color azul representan el hielo marino.
Oh, that's so cute. The blue papers represent the sea ice.
And then we have some polar bears down here. We have 5 polar bears. Cada papelito nos dice algo.
So each ice paper says a little something about what we learned today.
Right, and we have to find the right answer. So like, for example, this one says, polar bears do not drink what?
What do polar bears not drink? Do you guys remember?
And then these polar bears will have the answer on the back, but we don't know what they each say. So we're just gonna have to guess which one would have the answer. So let's just look at this one and see what this one says. 4-inch.
layer of fat.
Is that the answer?
Nope, that's not the answer to what do polar bears drink.
That's not the answer. So
This
we're
is
just
kinda
gonna
like
have
a
to keep
memory
looking.
game.
We're just gonna have to keep looking.
All right, I will choose this one. What do polar bears not drink? Focas barbudas. No. Sea eels, not gonna work. This is hard, Maria. All right.
know.
The trick
well,
is
we can look at another one.
Well, all right.
Let's.
Oh, you know what? What? Yes. What is the food most common of a polar bear? I just pulled that one, Maria.
Which one was it?
It was this one here.
Sí, es la comida más común de los osos.
Focas barbudas. La comida más común de un oso polar are the sea lions.
So we're gonna put it on. Yeah, there we go. So that bear has its sea eyes.
Very good. And so, okay.
Let's see. Let's look at that one. What do polar bears have underneath their skin?
You know what, Maria? I'm going to help you do this. Not what, but how about what?
Yeah.
Do polar bears have underneath their skin?
Well, let's see. Did we pick that up earlier?
I don't know. Did we? What did they?
I don't know. Let's see here. 4 inch layer of fat.
That is a great right there.
That is true. That's what they have underneath their skin.
Oh my goodness, Maria, I bet you we probably have time for one more and then we can move on to our next activity. Okay, so we have, what do polar bears not drink, other names of a polar bear, and the color of the skin of a polar bear. All right, let's choose one and see which one we could land it on.
What does that say? Nanook, white bear, oso maritinus.
Well, I know where that one goes. Niños, ¿qué te parece? Aquí, el color de la piel.
No.
Otros nombres del oso.
Muy bien, es otro nombre del oso. That only leaves us with 2. Should we pick each one and
Ready,
put
Maria?
it? Yep.
My answer is water. Aquí lo tengo la respuesta.
Mine is negro, el color de la piel del oso polar. Very good, we got it. Okay, guys, so here we are on our craft. Our craft today is super easy, and I mean easy. When you guys are ready to start eating, in any occasion with your family, you can take one of those white napkins and make a polar bear with it and just start the conversation with your family.
Okay,
so
we have 2 minutes to do this, Miss Maria.
You're gonna need a marker and you're just going to do 2 small eyes because polar bears have really small eyes. And then you're gonna do a big circle, which is going to be the nose. And you're going to color it inside. And then you're gonna put something like this. And you have a polar bear right on your napkin.
Ay, qué bonito. Oh, my polar bear is a little cross-eyed, but that's okay. He was at the dinner party too long. All right.
So this is what happens, you guys, when you have your napkin with your polar bear. People will be like, oh, what are you doing there? What did you draw? You can say, oh, I did a polar bear, un oso polar. Why did you do that? Then you can start the conversation about how important polar bears are to our ecosystem.
This is fantastic. Here's my polar bear, el oso polar, and yours, Maria. This has been so much fun. Are you ready to sing our song?
Yep. Adios, amigos. Goodbye, friends. We had fun and we hope to see you again.
Hola Amigos, Hello Friends is a production of the Knowledge Network of Greater Omaha, produced by students in the TV studios of Metropolitan Community College.